Anakin Skywalker, one of the most powerful and famous Jedi that has ever lived, a great warrior and even teacher, his potential unparalleled by any, even by Master Yoda or Mace Windu. But how powerful is Anakin really? If you search throughout the fandom, you will find tons of differing answers. Some cite Anakin as one of the most powerful Jedi who has ever lived, while others deem him a disappointment. So how powerful was the Chosen One, Anakin Skywalker, really? Before we begin, I want to make this distinction. For the purpose of this video, we will be looking at Anakin and Anakin only. From the point Palpatine deems him a Sith and grants him the title of Darth Vader, he ceased to be Anakin Skywalker. Because of this, we will be looking at Anakin's feats and power up until he pledged himself to Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith. Anything after that is a video made for Darth Vader. When Anakin became Obi-Wan's apprentice, his skills increased drastically. It was here Obi-Wan truly began to believe this boy may in fact be the Chosen One. However, Anakin became arrogant and thought himself above the other students. Despite being brought into the order at an older age than is normal, he quickly passed the other Padawans, as none held a candle to his gift with the Force, or the lightsaber. This caused Anakin to come into conflict with many of the other Padawans, as he viewed himself above them. After several years of training, Anakin wished to prove himself to his masters, programming the lightsaber sequences of Darth Maul into a training droid, and he did indeed manage to defeat it. Also around this time, Anakin began to be filled with doubt, not only in his own abilities, but with the Jedi way. Anakin became somewhat frightened at the prospects of being a Jedi his entire life, and almost left the Order because of it. This brings us to one of the major things that held Anakin back as a Jedi. Anakin sought power, even as a Jedi Knight of the Order. It was always important to prove himself as powerful, or even more powerful than others. Anakin was prideful, and while he had every right to be confident in his abilities, this held him back, not in the combative sense, but as a Jedi overall. Despite this, Anakin became a combative genius. The art of combat and any challenge got his heart beating, and although it was frowned upon by the Jedi, Anakin loved a good fight. Anakin's skill as a duelist was unmatched by anyone his age. As a younger man, Anakin used Form 4 lightsaber combat, Ataru, which he would later teach to his own student, Ahsoka Tano. Ataru was a very aggressive, fast-paced form, brought to its peak by the likes of Master Yoda. Anakin used Form 4 all the way up to his duel with Count Dooku, where he was severely bested by the former Jedi Master. Because of this, and his strength and skill increasing, Anakin was prompted to rethink his lightsaber form. Anakin then began using Djem So, the dueling variant of Form 5 lightsaber combat. Anakin's increased strength helped him a great deal in this decision, and his natural speed and past experience with Ataru allowed him to move past the lack of mobility that came with Djem So, although it took him several years to master. As a Force user, Anakin was also impressive, dabbling with mind probing and influence, although he would not truly master them until becoming a Sith Lord. Again, Anakin was more focused on the combative gifts of the Force. When battling regularly, Anakin was extremely skilled, but his true power came when he tapped into the dark side. This leads back to what was mentioned earlier. Anakin would always choose power over the Jedi way. Several times as a Jedi Knight, Anakin used either anger or hatred to fuel his power, allowing him to execute feats he wouldn't normally. Only after giving into his anger did he handily defeat Asajj Ventress, and only after giving into his hatred did he kill Count Dooku. Anakin came to realize where the true power lied, and would, if need be, tap into his darker emotions to pull from power not present in the light. The Jedi Council many times became weary of the young Skywalker, seeing his arrogance and use of the darkness, but still, he was allowed to stay due to his status as the Chosen One and because of his inherent skill. Anakin never struggled with the physical or combative abilities of the Jedi, he struggled with the Jedi philosophy itself. He believed himself more intelligent than his masters much of the time, and would not be unwilling to break the rules if he saw it necessary. However, as a Jedi, Anakin did do much good, in some cases saving entire worlds, and the amount of lives he saved were among the most of any Jedi, in large part due to his tendency to disobey the Order. Anakin is very similar to the Star Wars viewer. He saw many of the flaws that would destroy the Jedi. He attempted to remedy them, but was cut off by the Masters of the Order. Anakin saw the Jedi being confined to their rules and how it hurt them, and that insight would later be used not to fix the Order, but destroy it entirely. As a fighter, Anakin laid the groundwork for the Sith that would follow. He was so gifted and so powerful, he believed few, if any, could ever challenge him, but this also led into his greatest weakness. Anakin was very easily manipulated. Despite being a Jedi, Anakin was ruled by emotion, and while this emotion could benefit him, it also could cause him to lose sight of a larger goal. As his master Obi-Wan would point out, sometimes a fight was not as important as it appeared, but rather set up a larger distraction that would win the day. Anakin was a master of the fight, but a student to the larger distraction. This in large part is what led Obi-Wan to defeat him on Mustafar. To finish, I would like to conclude with a quote that I think really illustrates Anakin's gift as a Force user and duelist, and what about him made him one of the best. Each parry cost Dooku more power than he'd used to throw Kenobi across the room. Each block aged him a decade. He no longer even tried to strike back. Force exhaustion began to close down his perceptions, drawing his consciousness back down to his physical form, trapping him within his own skull until he could barely even feel the contours of the room around him. He dimly sensed stairs at his back, stairs that led up to the entrance balcony. He retreated up them, using the higher ground for leverage, but Skywalker just kept on coming, tirelessly, ferocious. And even now, he was holding himself back. Even now, as he landed at Dooku's flank and rained blows upon the Sith Lord's defenses, even as he drove Dooku backwards, step after step. Dooku could feel how Skywalker kept his fury banked behind walls of will. So there you have it, Anakin Skywalker was truly one of the most powerful Force users who has ever lived, but not one of the greatest Jedi. So what do you think? Where do you think Anakin Skywalker ranks among the other Jedi, and among the Sith as well? And who do you think is more powerful, Darth Vader or Anakin Skywalker? If you would like to see a video talking about how powerful Darth Vader was, be sure to leave a like and request it in the comments. If you haven't yet, maybe consider subscribing to ensure you stay up to date with everything Star Wars related. If you would like to talk with me directly, my Twitter is at Stupendous Wave. Thanks again for watching. Leave your comments on Anakin below. Really interested to hear what you guys have to say. May the Force be with you, and have a great day.